Shaista Khan's defeat was a bitter blow to the Mughal forces. As they retreated from the Pune region, the weight of their failure hung heavy in the air. Aurangzeb's decision to transfer Shaista Khan to the distant Bengal region was a clear sign of his displeasure. Yet it did little to ease the suffering inflicted upon our kingdom during their oppressive reign. For 3 long years, the Mughals had ravaged our lands, leaving devastation in their wake. With the Mughal army in retreat, Shivaji Maharaj saw an opportunity to rebuild and strengthen our kingdom. His visionary mind was always one step ahead, seeking out new avenues for growth and prosperity. It was in this spirit that he summoned me with a mission of utmost importance: to journey deep into the heart of the Mughal Empire and gather intelligence on the city of Surat. Surat, with its strategic location and bustling trade routes, was a coveted prize for any aspiring ruler. Situated on the western coast, it was surrounded on 3 sides by the vast expanse of the Mughal Empire, making it seem impregnable to outside threats. Yet Shivaji Maharaj, with his daring and foresight, saw an opportunity where others saw only obstacles. My task was clear: to infiltrate Surat, unravel its secrets, and assess its vulnerabilities. I was to uncover the hidden wealth of the city, identify the corrupt elite who profited from its riches, and most importantly, evaluate its defenses. It was a daunting mission, fraught with danger and uncertainty. But I knew that failure was not an option. For the sake of our kingdom and our king, I would venture into the heart of enemy territory and emerge victorious. Even before setting foot in Surat, my preparations had begun. As I entered the bustling city, teeming with people from all walks of life, I felt a surge of determination. From the poorest beggars to the wealthiest merchants, everyone had a story to tell, and it was my task to listen and observe. The streets of Surat were alive with activity, a melting pot of cultures and languages. British, French, Armenian, Dutch, and Greek traders plied their wares in the bustling markets, while merchants from Persia, Arabia, Afghanistan, and Baluchistan bartered for goods along the waterfront. It was a vibrant tapestry of commerce and intrigue, and I wasted no time in immersing myself in its depths. Under the Mughal yoke, Surat was a city ripe for exploitation. Subedar Inayat Khan, the man entrusted with its governance, was a poster child for incompetence. Drunk on his own power and heedless of his duties, Khan had allowed corruption to flourish unchecked. With a blatant display of corruption, Inayat Khan had secured funds from Aurangzeb to maintain an army of 10,000 soldiers for Surat's protection, but he was guarding the city with only 1,000 men. Surat, once a jewel of the western coast, had become a den of vice and decadence under his rule. Despite its troubles, Surat seemed a vital hub of trade and commerce. Its strategic location made it a linchpin of the Mughal Empire's maritime network, connecting the riches of the West to the heart of Bharat, with ships unloading goods like silk, spices, metals, and expensive fabrics from faraway lands. Ships bound for Mecca set sail from its harbors, laden with pilgrims and cargo. Yet beneath its facade of prosperity, Surat bore the scars of Mughal oppression. Its people suffered under heavy taxation, their wealth drained to fuel the ambitions of distant rulers. For Shivaji Maharaj, Surat represented more than just a city. It was a symbol of the injustices inflicted upon our kingdom by the Mughals. The suffering endured by our people for 3 years demanded justice. As I delved deeper into its secrets, I vowed to uncover the truth and deliver it into the hands of my king. Surat would be the key to securing our future, and I would stop at nothing to ensure its liberation from Mughal tyranny. The southern entrance to Surat, known as Burhanpur Darwaza, stood as a formidable barrier to any intruders. This gate, tall and sturdy, marked the boundary of the city, while the Tapi river flowed silently through its heart. As I gathered intelligence on Surat, I made sure to note down every detail, including the layout of the city, its defenses, and the intricate network of escape routes. Armed with this crucial information, I hastened back to Pune, eager to report to Shivaji Maharaj. Upon my arrival at Rajgarh, I wasted no time in relaying all my findings to our king. Together, we pored over the details, devising a plan to raid Surat and reclaim what was rightfully ours. With the date set for December 6, 1663, we assembled a force of 8,000 select horsemen, ready to embark on our daring mission. Secrecy was paramount, so only Shivaji Maharaj and I were privy to the true destination of our expedition. No questions were asked, and no explanations given as we set out on our journey. Our first stop was Trimbakeshwar, one of the 12 Jyotirlingas, a sacred site housing an ancient temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. For over 1,000 years, this temple has stood as a beacon of devotion, and it was here that we sought the blessings of Lord Shiva before commencing our campaign. Trimbakeshwar also held significance as the source of the holy river Godavari, revered as the Ganga of the south. After offering prayers and making donations to the locals, we resumed our journey, each step bringing us closer to our ultimate goal. Recognizing the importance of maintaining the element of surprise, we began spreading false rumors that our destination lay not in Surat, but in Aurangabad, a crucial city under Mughal control to the northeast of Trimbakeshwar. The mere suggestion of an impending raid sent shockwaves through Aurangabad, prompting the Mughal prince stationed there, Muajjam, to fortify the city in anticipation of our supposed attack. Upon our arrival at Surat, we established our camp a few miles outside the city walls. News of the Maratha army's approach spread like wildfire through the streets of Surat, igniting panic and chaos among the populace. Desperate cries for protection echoed throughout the city as terrified residents sought refuge within the confines of Inayat Khan's fort. Inayat Khan, however, dismissed the reports with a derisive laugh, convinced that the Maratha king would never dare to raid a Mughal stronghold. His confidence only served to fuel the fear and uncertainty gripping the city, as people scrambled to prepare for the impending siege. Meanwhile, our Maratha soldiers apprehended 2 Dutch spies lurking near our camp, who had been dispatched to gather intelligence on our movements. Shivaji Maharaj, displaying his characteristic magnanimity, chose to pardon the spies and allowed them to return to the city. One of them, having previously seen Shivaji Maharaj at the port of Rajapur, swiftly identified him, confirming our presence in Surat and sending ripples of alarm through the foreign traders. Seizing the opportunity to negotiate, Shivaji Maharaj dispatched a diplomat to Inayat Khan, demanding a ransom in exchange for sparing the city from destruction. Despite assurances of safety, Inayat Khan and the affluent merchants remained defiant, offering no response to our overtures. Refusing to cooperate, Inayat Khan, in a desperate bid to assert his authority, dispatched his own emissary to our camp, warning of dire consequences should we persist in our siege. Unfazed by his threats, Shivaji Maharaj issued the command for our soldiers to advance into the city with a clear mission. Guided by the meticulous planning of my reconnaissance efforts, we executed our strategy with precision, adhering to Shivaji Maharaj's strict directives to spare civilians, religious sites, and philanthropists. As our forces descended upon the city, the panicked inhabitants sought refuge within the safety of the fort, where Inayat Khan demanded exorbitant sums for their protection from the impending Maratha onslaught. The famous British East India Company's warehouse was guarded by a mere 200 Britishers and 50 native soldiers. When Marathi soldiers attempted to breach the British camp, gunfire and cannon blasts erupted, showcasing the bravery of the outnumbered defenders. Shivaji Maharaj couldn't help but admire the courage displayed by this handful of British soldiers. Meanwhile, Inayat Khan remained holed up in his fortress with 1,000 armed soldiers, continuing to extort money from the terrified residents under the guise of protection. Under the cover of darkness, Marathi soldiers diligently collected the spoils of their raid. Bags filled with precious metals, gold, silver, along with jewels, pearls, and diamonds were swiftly amassed. The following morning, a diplomat dispatched from Inayat Khan's fort approached Shivaji Maharaj. However, as he drew closer under the pretense of discussing new terms, he suddenly lunged at Shivaji Maharaj with a concealed dagger. Before the assailant could inflict harm, alert Marathi guards intervened, striking down the diplomat with a fatal blow. This brazen act of treachery stoked the fury of the Marathi soldiers and officers, igniting a rampage through the city. In a vengeful onslaught, waves of Marathi soldiers descended upon Surat, their torches illuminating the night as they exacted retribution. Amidst the chaos, countless civilians and captives perished. Homes were reduced to ash, and the once thriving city was engulfed in flames, casting an eerie glow that reached the heavens. Amidst the chaos, approximately 3,000 bags brimming with treasure were filled. With news of the approaching Mughal officer Mahabat Khan and his formidable army, Shivaji Maharaj swiftly ordered the wrapping up of their operation. Laden with their newfound wealth, the Marathi army departed from Surat, their journey back to their homeland slowed by the weight of their precious cargo. Initially, upon Shivaji Maharaj and the Marathi army's arrival at Surat, they established a camp outside the city and initiated a peaceful negotiation, requesting a ransom. Shivaji Maharaj went a step further by extending invitations to the city's caretaker, Inayat Khan, and its affluent inhabitants for a dialogue, but regrettably received no response. However, the situation took a grave turn when Inayat Khan resorted to sending an assassin disguised as a diplomat, thereby breaching established customs and betraying the sacred trust of diplomatic engagement. This egregious act triggered the wrath of 8,000 enraged cavalrymen, resulting in the widespread devastation of the once beautiful city of Surat. The people of Maharashtra, inhabitants of the Maratha kingdom, endured 3 long years of hardship and suffering as Mughal forces mercilessly pillaged and plundered their towns and villages. Throughout this period, their lives were marred by constant fear, deprivation, and the tyranny of oppressive forces that laid waste to their lands. In stark contrast to this prolonged period of anguish, Shivaji Maharaj's intervention in Surat lasted a mere 3 days. During this brief span, rather than inflicting further suffering upon innocent civilians or engaging in wanton destruction, Maharaj and his army conducted themselves with a sense of justice and moral integrity. Recognizing that the wealth amassed by the affluent traders of Surat often came at the expense of the impoverished masses, Shivaji Maharaj targeted only those riches acquired through exploitation and injustice. His actions were not driven by a desire for wanton plunder or personal gain, but rather by a commitment to rectify the imbalance of wealth and power that had perpetuated the suffering of his people for far too long. After our triumphant return from Surat, laden with the spoils of our successful expedition, Shivaji Maharaj and I, accompanied by our 8,000-strong army, made our way back to Rajgarh. The journey was filled with a sense of accomplishment and hope for the future of our Marathi kingdom. It was January 10th, 1664, and our revered king was at the age of 34, in the prime of his life.